journalism today, it's literally changes overnight. And you've obviously had a varied career from ESPN, LA Times, New York Times, but now you sit at this crux of another moment where basically, I mean, I read the New York Times sports section as a kid, and obviously I've gotten to know you recently, but to hear that the sports section of the New York Times is going to be disbanded is like jaw-dropping. And so what does this mean for sports, and what does it mean for journalism as how we how we consume this topic?
Yeah, well, it's going to be disbanded, and I mean, they're the higher ups. The plan is for the Athletic, which the New York Times now owns. Is the plan is for them to basically supplant us in a way. I mean, so that in the end is a contraction of the industry, because there's, although most of us, we're all being offered jobs within the paper, we're not losing our jobs unless we want to walk away. And we'll be certainly paying attention to sports and trying to continue to write what we think of as distinctive sports stories. I think we're not going to be doing that exclusively. It's just there's less people it's less people writing about the subject. The Athletic has as far as I can see, has a sort of different stance about sports. It's more fan oriented. Maybe not as critical. I don't want to like cast aspersions on anybody. I've tried to look at sports with a very critical eye, and not just, totally pleasing the fans and actually challenging fans. As a columnist, in my role as a columnist.
Trevor Bauer letter is a great example.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to challenge the system. Sometimes
the Justin Turner letter. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I wrote about Trevor Bauer too, and pretty challenging. I'm not sure how much of that will continue at the Athletic. I can't say. So it's just, again, it's just kind of the state of journalism writ large in America. Just continues to contract. It's not good for our society. I've always been I've been lucky to work mostly at big papers, but my biggest concern is the loss of the local reporting, and the smaller and medium-sized papers. I think as we see that go away and see less accountability and less questions being asked of power, that's a very, very vital role. I've always looked at my role too as, of course, there's the connecting and the curiosity and the empathy, but there's also challenging power. And that is a very important role to me. And as we have less of that in the press, it's just not a great thing for our society. And we're dealing with so many other things too in this whole sphere with misinformation, and God, it's just, it's a tough one. It's a very tough blow. It's been a very tough 2 days. I'm trying to smile through it, but even beyond 2 days, because we've known about this for a while, but also not entirely unexpected that it would happen. So hopefully, in the end, the paper will be successful and the readers will be served well. And it's one of those things. I don't have the control I'd like to have about it. So I just have to do, for me and all of my colleagues, just do our best.
Well, know that on behalf of Sinai Temple and Rabbi on the Sidelines, your journalism authenticity is crucial to how we not simply read these stories, but how we see the world, and your time that you have given us in these, I know, difficult moments for you, will, God willing, lead to a redemption story that will hopefully be participating on your journey as well. And so we want to thank Kurt Streeter from Sports of the Times column of the New York Times, ESPN, the magazine, LA Times. So a local boy coming back to LA, at least virtually, for an hour or so. And we look forward to learning with you and from you on this journey ahead. Kurt, thank you so much for spending time on Rabbi on the Sidelines.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, Rabbi.
Have a good day.